as we have discussed spiritual wisdom. We've discussed princes of the air and how that they can have dominion, and how that these spirits can hold back the wisdom of God because it defeats the wisdom of God. And blessings. You may remember a story that we find in 1 Chronicles about when King David wanted to bring the Ark of God back to Jerusalem. And evidently, without consulting anybody from the spiritual realm, David had a good heart and he wanted to do this. And they took the ark and they put it on a cart. And it said that a guy by the name of Uzzah, he was driving the cart. And as all of the singers and the praisers, they were all rejoicing and dancing about the ark of the covenant going to Jerusalem and to the house of God. And the oxen stumbled, and Uzzah reached out to steady the ark to keep it from tipping over. And when that happened, God killed him because he touched the ark of the covenant. Now, that's very sad, and all of Israel were very, very frightened over this. But they took the ark to the house of a man by the name of Obed-Edom the Gittite. Obed-Edom the Gittite. Now, they left the ark there for a short period of time. And during that time, when the ark of the covenant was there, God began to bless the house of Obed-Edom. I mean, it was seemingly supernatural. The blessings of God that came upon the house of Obed-Edom because the Ark of the Covenant was there. Now, that tells me that there are spiritual influences and there is spiritual activity in areas and dominions all around the world. And God could choose to pour out His Spirit and His blessings upon the house of Obed-Edom and any other person who would seek God and the favor of God and would pray over their house and pray a hedge of protection over their house, pray for their families, pray for the welfare of their family, and pray that the borders of their household would be expanded. See, all of these things are in the spiritual world. There have been times in my life and in my ministry when things were such a way, and I realized that this is a spiritual thing. We're going to have to take this to a higher plane. We've got to go higher with this because we're trying to deal with this here in the flesh and in the wisdom of men. But this requires spiritual influence. So then you get on your face before God and you beseech those who are involved with you, your church people or your families. Let's all begin to beseech heaven and pray because we want to bring spiritual activity of the godly sort to defeat the princes who would have dominion and holding back the blessing. You study the Word of God, you'll find that these concepts that I'm sharing with you today are true. It's Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.